Georgia will look to end their Rugby World Cup with a bang, while Wales's focus turns to the quarterfinals. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Wales beat Georgia. This one is in the Stade de la Beaujour in Nantes. It's on Saturday, 7th of October. Kickoff is 2 p.m. BST. This is world number 7 versus world number 13. Right, we're going to have a look at the teams, starting with the Welsh team. So, front row, we got Thomas, Lake, and Francis. So, Dowie Lake captaining the side there. Going pretty strong in this one. I think it speaks to the fact that, the next game is going to be a quarter-final. You can't just be, resting players and then having them come back in cold for such an important game. So they've gone fairly strong in this one. Decent front row there. Second row then is Rowlands and Jenkins. They've been pretty decent through the tournament. A lot of these players, we've seen them through this pool stage, improve their form for the Welsh, and just really kind of seeing combinations coming together at test level as well. And Rowlands and Jenkins is one that is doing well. Back row then got Wainwright, Reffel and Faletau. So Wales, like a lot of the teams, the top teams in this Rugby World Cup, they're spoiled for talent in the back row, but that's a pretty tasty back row there as well. Reffel's been in great form. Faletau, when is he never in good form, and Wainwright as well. Really good, three good individuals. Let's see, in terms of a back row unit, how they actually go and whether that's going to be the unit as well for the quarterfinal. The halfbacks then we have Tomas Williams and Garrett Anscombe there. So, no bigger in at 10 for this one. Anscombe, he's kind of come from being pretty much a forgotten man almost for Wales to now, being a starting 10. Tomas Williams has kind of gone on a similar journey where he was the preferred pick at 9 and then he wasn't, and now maybe he might be again. But this is against Georgia, so you can't read too much into it. Other players might come back into the team for that quarterfinal match, but these two guys to have the chance here to cement those places for that quarterfinal if they put in decent performances. On left wing then we got Rio Dyer. We had a fantastic Six Nations. Kind of lost a little bit of form for the Dragons toward the end of the season, but that was as the Dragons form themselves actually dropped significantly as well when they fell back into the clutches of the other Welsh regions in the URC. But he's coming back into some form now, and I like him as an option really out there. It's good to see kind of somebody new coming into this team when you look around, even though a lot of players retired, you just see the depth that Wales had over all those years when you see how many players are still around there as well. But he's a decent option on the wing. I'm not sure whether he's going to it's probably going to be Adams, right, that gets a start in that quarterfinal, but you never know. Maybe he's gonna do enough here to convince Scotland. The centres then we've got Tompkins and North. North really has impressed me since moving to 13. I've said a few times, really wasn't sure about him there, but he's doing well. And they're forming a combination there too, which is good because they're going to need that if they're going to go further than that quarterfinal in this tournament. Lewis Rees-Zammit there on the right wing. We've seen him be a little bit busier now, coming off his wing and looking for work, which is good, and not just staying out there, waiting for someone to put him into space so we can just use that gas. He's now, I think getting a bit more involved, which is good to see. Liam Williams there at 15. Guy's a fantastic fullback. He's solid on the high ball, and he can run that ball back as well and be a threat, and he doesn't mind coming in and being a playmaker there either. Onto the bench then we've got Elliot D. We've got Smith and Thomas there as the front row replacements. Got Chunza covering the second row, Basham covering the back row. We've got Davis covering 9, Costello covering 10, and Grady covering the rest, centres, and maybe, depending on how things go, maybe North will move out to the wing, or, maybe he'll have to play on the wing. We'll have to see how that goes, but probably will come on in the centres as long as there isn't an injury there. It's a strong side. They've gone, they've won all the games so far. You'd expect them. Well, we'll come to that, but they're probably expecting to win this game at least, but we'll come to what I think. Then the next one we have is the Georgia team. So Georgia gone for Gogiashvili, Mamakashvili, and Gigiashvili in that front row. I've done, there's a stats video up on the video if you want to see. This Georgia scrum are actually going very well, and you want to see how well they're going, maybe check that video out. But we used to have this thing about Georgia always just being about the scrum and the forwards, and now we know they've expanded that. They've been a bit more kind of backs oriented recently and spreading the ball and stuff like that, but still those roots there are strong, I think, from the scrum. And yeah, again, just check it out, other video if you want to see how they compare to every other scrum in the competition. But these guys are part of why their scrum is doing well at the moment, but also around the park too. I felt like, though, other than in the set piece, the forwards hadn't really turned up until that last game, really, where suddenly it looked like, okay, Georgia have arrived in the tournament finally, because they looked a little bit absent, even against Portugal, where they got out to that lead, and then they just kind of let Portugal come back into the game, and then had to chase it themselves towards the end too. And a lot of that has to do with the pack. Like, we got in the second row, then we got Chiashvili, Mikatadze. Decent combination there again. Back row, we got Gachaladze, Saganadze, and Jalagonia. Jalagonia has kind of stood out for me in that back row. Not a player that I knew a whole lot about before this World Cup, but he's looked decent there at 8, and he's going to look to carry in this game, and also just be kind of a bit of a menace around the field as well. The halfbacks then got Lobzanadze and Makava. Makava he's had some good stuff in this tournament, but again, the backs were kind of starved of service really from the forward pack, but that might change a little bit in this game, but I'm not sure, because again, like, Wales are probably the form team in this pool now. Left wing then we got Niniashvili, such a dangerous runner with ball in hand. Centres we got Shadakadze and Krevzaladze. Right wing we got Tabitsadze. He knows his way to the try line, and wouldn't be surprised if he scores in this one as well. At fullback then we got Kamaladze. So I'm pretty sure Niniashvili had been playing fullback mostly up to now, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I think he comes into the team at least for this one. Onto the bench then we have Karkadze, Abaladze, and Atsizauri are the front row replacements. Then second row is Chachanidze. Back row is Sukiridze. Then for the backs we got Aparisidze, Abzandadze, and Tapladze to come on as well. So most of these guys we've seen for most of the term. Like Georgia, they've been trying to pick the strongest side every game just to give themselves a chance of potentially winning a game. But how do you think this is going to go? Well, I think Wales are going to win, and Wales, we've seen them just improving all the time, and they're beginning to come together as a unit rather than just some decent individuals as well. So I expect them to definitely win this one and win it pretty well. But I'm hoping at least that Georgia will, put up a bit of resistance to start with, because it is their last game of the tournament, and they didn't really do themselves justice, honestly, in this Rugby World Cup. We've seen a lot of teams from Tier 2 actually, raising the flag for Tier 2 and saying, listen, we can be good too, and we just need support. But Georgia haven't been one of those teams, and that's a bit of a pity, because especially in Europe, they've been the Tier 2 team that have been carrying the flag on their own for a very long time. And now all these other teams are coming and performing, and they didn't really. So, it would be nice just to see them put in a decent performance in this one, but I think Wales are going to win it.